Hello everybody! Welcome back to my channel. I'm Mustard Saves, and today I have quite the haul of things to show you here. Before we get started, I wanted to put a disclaimer that for the subject of today's video, I do not by any means endorse panic buying or hoarding for hoarding's sake. What you're going to see me unpack in this video is a collection of items that I felt was important for my household to have stocked up on in case of an emergency. However, none of these things are meant to just be put away in a cabinet until if or when something happens. For those of you who are new to my channel, I recently graduated college and I'm currently working an internship that leaves my wallet very tight every month, and I rely pretty heavily on my local food pantry to help take a load off of my savings account. But depending on what I'm gifted, I still may have to spend a little here and there on a few things to fill in the gaps. I saved up as much as I could before moving to this position, and it's through those funds that I was able to spend this much money in one go. But this also means that I cannot afford to just drop $275 on groceries and put them in a cabinet to just forget about. Everything that I'm putting away in this cabinet are some of the most used non-perishable goods that we have circulating through our pantry on a regular basis. So if I can't technically afford all of these groceries, why did I put in all this work? Well, to start, I live in the great state of Texas, and I grew up living right smack in the middle of Hurricane Alley. So keeping some emergency supplies on hand has been something that I've always done to prepare for power outages. As well as I've also experienced my share of water boil notices. If you've never experienced a boil notice, it's basically when your local water treatment center experiences some kind of event that happens somewhere in the water treatment or somewhere in the distribution lines that leaves the water potentially unsafe to drink. So it is recommended that you boil your water before consumption. These events can vary in severity, and sometimes they're just put in place as a precaution, and other times you can't even touch the water. In my experience, there are always people who tend to go extremely overboard in either situation, and now that I live in a more rural area that has a smaller shopping pool, I've really just been wanting to get ahead of the curve and have some extras of things on hand. Second, while I am really starting to enjoy the position that I'm currently interning under, I have decided that I will be moving back home after my term is over, so it doesn't make sense for me to stock up on a ton of things that I will ultimately just have to pack up and haul over 300 miles away. And finally, to address the media elephant in the room, we all know the world has been on edge with supply chain issues, increase in prices, and now there's an extra piece of safety uncertainty with what's going on in Europe and parts of Asia. I am not bringing up that point to start a fire for anyone because, as I said in the beginning, I don't want to perpetuate the idea that everyone needs to go out and run to turn their basements into bunkers. At least in my corner of the world, I haven't really seen any extreme increase in prices, but as someone who is already under a substantial amount of financial pressure, it has been enough for me to decide that at least for the moment and for my own peace of mind, I would rather spend this money now and lock myself into the current prices on groceries. This way, there's no pressure for us to go out and rework our budget every few weeks to align with the price and sales cycles of the times. In fact, a much more advantageous way of doing this type of stocking up would be to spread it out over time and keep an eye on your local grocery store sales. I did all of this shopping in one go at Walmart because sale items tend to go quickly in a small town like this, and I gave up a long time ago trying to find time to take the 20-minute drive out to the next closest grocery store just to be met with some well-picked over shelves. Here are the last few set of things that I did not have room for in that pantry. And then also, some of these things are spices, so they're going in my spice cabinet. Starting with some bouillon powder. I'm almost out of this bouillon, and this bouillon, I use them for two separate things. So I got two of those. We don't have any grape jelly, so I bought that grape jelly. And then I got a packet of brown rice to have like some nutrition and also some texture variation in my rice. A pack of chickpeas, some hot sauce, one of these tikka masala sauces that I used in my $20 challenge that I ended up falling in love with. This is only the second time that I've purchased it. The first time was in that video, but it was so good that we want to make it again. So I got one of those, a 2-pound packet of thin spaghetti, and then these individual packets of yeast. I got a couple different kinds, and I got it this way instead of in the jars because this was actually cheaper per ounce of yeast, as well as I don't have to worry about these going bad if I open one of them and then don't get around to using the other of them for a while. And you can freeze yeast once you open it if you want to keep it like nice and preserved, but I preferred having something that was shelf stable and could be shelf stable for a while. So yeah, if I open one of those, it'll be no big deal if I don't use the whole sleeve. And then here, these seasoning packs, even though it says wing mix, like you don't have to use these on wings. So I got a garlic parmesan because that sounded delicious, and then I got a Southwest chicken seasoning mix because that sounded all right, and then 2 packets of taco seasoning because this is literally the cheapest seasoning mix that you can get at Walmart. They're 44 cents a piece, and then I think these other ones right here, they're $1 a piece. But they make for really easy, just like dump and go type meals, and so I wanted to stock up on having a few of these in case I didn't feel like getting out all of the ingredients. Here are the ones that I have in my shelf, and as you can see, like you can see the bottom of the cup, and I'm not even really tilting them that much, so I really did need to get chicken bouillon. For my non-food items, I picked up some aluminum foil, a heavy-duty aluminum foil, and some parchment paper. If you like to do things in the oven, parchment paper is my best friend. I love it so much more than aluminum foil. Like, I've never had anything stick to parchment paper. It's so amazing, but I do need aluminum foil for like different projects every so often. So I spent, I think this one was $5 and this one was $7 or $8 or something like that. But like, this is enough foil to last me like the rest of the year. Like, I will not be buying any more foil while I live here. I do bake bread as a hobby, and I don't have any bread pans. I have been making bread in my Dutch oven that I also got for a steal. I got my Dutch oven for $40 on clearance, so I definitely did not pay Dutch oven prices for that, but got 2 of those. These are just your standard 9x5 loaf pan, and I did check on Amazon while I was in the store, and they cost about the same. On top of the pantry items, I decided to go ahead and add in a few fun things. When stocking up on things like this, people always consider flavor and convenience, but what can get to you in the long run is having the same textures over and over. So to add some nutrition and texture, I picked up some fresher items to keep up household morale and add a bit of color contrast to the muted beige of canned fruits and vegetables. The bag of boneless, skinless chicken breast was one of the biggest price changes that I noticed, and honestly, I wouldn't have bought this type of thing to keep regularly in the house, but I was having some family coming over, and I wanted to make something nice since we hadn't seen each other in quite some time, and spending $7 on chicken was still way cheaper than taking everyone out to dinner, and I only used about half the bag, so this will still make for an easy crock-pot dinner when the weather gets too hot for me to want to cook. Although, I would have 100% left those blocks of cream cheese behind if I had seen how much they cost. Both kinds used to be around 68 cents, and my receipt shows that they were $1.50 a pop. Moving on to my little bit of refrigerator groceries, I would have much preferred to have sticks of butter, but my Walmart was completely sold out of the affordable brands, so I chose this absolute unit of a tub. This is way, way more than I will go through in a typical month. From previous videos, you'll have seen that butter is usually an option at my local food pantry, but compared to the current egg prices relative to this tub of butter, I will be opting to choose the carton of eggs over butter to cut down on my costs over time because eggs are just too precious to me. To top off the people portion of this haul, I picked up a pack of toilet paper and a case of water. We have no problem drinking tap water, and since there's only 2 of us in the house, these 2 packs will hold us over for quite some time. My store had so much of these 2 items in stock that you literally wouldn't have noticed one of them missing. But am I the only one who still feels like people judge you whenever you put them in your cart? I know we're all trying to get over the trauma of those shopping trends from 2020, and there's a 99.99% chance it's all in my head, but I still can't help feeling like that when I'm at the store. And then because we're not the only ones living in this house, I have one more thing to show you guys, and that will complete the haul. As I'm sure you just noticed, my child is quite a big girl, and with her size comes a pretty big appetite. And she also has a health condition with her tummy that I cannot give her like the regular grocery store brands of dog food. So the last thing that I picked up was this giant 30-pound bag of dog food. I'm definitely not going to try and carry that up. I'm going to have to wait till my partner gets off of work. But yes, this bag alone was like $40 for my dog. Is it money that I regret spending? Absolutely not. Because eventually she will need to open this up and she will need it for food. It's still not like the best brand of food that we could get her, but it's like the highest quality food that I can afford on my budget, and it sits well in her tummy. So I am not going to try and break my bank to buy her anything more than that until if and when it may become an issue. Oh my goodness, I was gone for so long. I went to the car. Hello. Oh my goodness, okay, that was kind of a mission and a half to get everything up the stairs and put away, but I'm so happy that I have everything here now. I feel very secure with my nice little shelf of things. I'm not sure when the next time you guys will see the things that are in this cabinet, but if I show you my other cabinet, it also is filled with a bunch of canned goods. So I definitely have food to go around. One of the biggest reasons my pantry looks like this right now is because I actually just finished focusing on getting some space cleared out of my fridge and freezer. So now that I have focused on those ingredients, the next project on my list is to make meals specifically with my pantry food items, so that way I can get some space cleared out in my pantry. And what am I clearing space for? I'm clearing space for more garbage, obviously. That's what we all do in our daily lives. And it's a never-ending cycle of obtaining things and then eating them or using them and then throwing them away or being done with it. So I have a lot of empty space in my fridge and freezer, which means I will fill it with things that I cook out of my pantry. And then once I make a dent in my pantry foods, my refrigerated foods will probably have restocked up after going to my food pantry. And the cycle will just continue, and I will use my extra drawer of things to fill in the gaps. And yeah, that's everything that I have to show you guys today. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. If you want to start a conversation on the types of things that you like to have ready in your house, I would also be interested to know that down in the comments below. And without anything left to show y'all, I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!